grammar point. That was the first conditional. And it's important to have this grammar because the work that we have for today is based on that grammar point, okay? We're going to start with reading. This reading is on page 130 on your books. This letter, well, this is a letter, and you are going to have what happened with touristic places after massive tourism, okay? So in this case, we're going to talk about the effects of tourism in Cape Cod, okay? Cape Cod is a very touristic place, so we're going to have what is that effect that tourism has given to this touristic place, okay? We're going to have this information because from this example, from these facts, we are going to analyze our own examples, okay? Well, I'll ask you, some of you, to read and continue the reading by paragraphs, okay? And let me ask, Kayla Hidalgo, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Kayla, help me, please. You are going to start the reading. Effects of tourism, the first paragraph, okay?
Okay. A million of tourists visit Cape Cod each year. Most tourists come here to relax at the beach and enjoy your delicious seafood. Others like to get off the beaten, beaten path and explore parts of the Cape that most tourists don't see. Whatever they do, here we are Paris. The tourists because most locals have jobs that oh, uh, depend on tourists such as shop owners and restaurant workers.
Okay, thank you, Kayla. So notice, please, also in this paragraph, the bold-faced words. In the third, the second and the third line, we have others like to get off the beaten path, like the normal things, and explore parts of the Cape that most tourists don't see. And here I have another word, which is locals, because most locals have jobs that depend on tourism. And that happens all the time. Every touristic place, in every touristic place, you can find the locals, the people who live there, okay? And yeah, most of them have jobs that depend on tourism, okay? So these people, these locals who depend on tourism, they receive, let's say that, good benefits from tourism. That can be like the good side. But of course, we will have the negative side. We are going to read in the next paragraph. Can you, John, can you continue with the next paragraph?
However, tourism can also have a negative impact on the area. The cost of housing is one example. The cost of housing keeps increasing, so many families can't afford to buy a home. In the long run, this problem will force families to leave the Cape and live elsewhere.
Thank you. So Cape Cod is like a beach. Okay, so what happened here? We have also negative impact. The cost of housing. The cost of housing. Nowadays, it's commonly, instead of using hotels, people tend to use the Airbnb, which is cheaper, okay? But yeah, locals who receive money, who receive that income from housing, yeah, they receive good benefit on that side. But what happened? Maybe locals or people who need or to want to live there in Cape Cod, what happened? They can't afford to buy a place to live. So what happened? Even the locals need to leave Cape Cod, okay, in order to find a cheaper place for living. So that is the negative impact. Of course, some locals receive that benefit because they receive money for different reasons, because they have businesses in which tourists pay for the services, but some other locals they have been impacted because of the cost of living. Most of them can't afford the cost of buying a house or renting a house. So what happened? Most of these locals, people who live there or people who were born there, they can't continue living there. They need to leave in order to find a cheaper place. So that is like the negative side in this part. The reading continue. Here in this last paragraph, Anthony Parra, can you continue the reading?
Yes, it says problems like these affect our way of life here on the couple. Life is becoming more difficult for the year-round residents. We need to find a compromise that will preserve the tourist income for the area and allow the local to continue living here.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, so problems like this affect our way of life. Okay, so yeah, generally, places in which receive massive tourism, what happens? The cost of life increases. So it changes for the locals. It becomes difficult for them to afford the cost of the living, the cost of renting, the cost of the food, the cost also because in this type of places, some programs, some fairs, some events are organized, and locals can't afford these type of events. Of course, people who have money would like to go to them. So if you have money, you can pay for everything. So the way of life is changing for locals. That is also like negative impact that locals have, especially in places that receives massive tourism. Okay. Well, so in this short letter, we could notice different, the positive and also the negative impact that tourism give to a specific touristic place. Okay. Now, my dear students, we're going to think about on touristic place that you have visited in, let's say, in the last month, okay? We're going to work in groups, okay? We're going to work in groups, sorry. But each person are going to remember which place did you visit in the last month, okay? And you are going to answer these questions, okay? Try to answer the following questions based on that place that you visit. What tourist destination did you visit? So I need the name. What are the major tourist attractions? When I say tourist attractions, that those are like specific places or even a specific stores, a specific restaurants or events that you could visit on that place, okay? For example, if you decided to talk about Loja, in November, we have a very special and a big festival, the Arts Festival. So probably you visited Loja, okay? But the tourist attractions you could visit was the festival, maybe some other parks like Hipiro Park, which is famous, or even you could go to Vilcabamba or Malacatos Valley, which are famous. So those are the tourist attractions. What the specific things or what specific activities you could do at that place. Number 3, what impact does tourism have on the locals? From your point of view, what could you notice? Or after that trip, if you haven't analyzed what could be the impact, so now you can reflect on that. What impact does tourism have on the locals? The impact was positive, was negative, can be both as well. And also you are going to analyze the impact that tourism have on the environment, okay? It's different. In question number 3, you are going to analyze the impact that tourism have on locals. That means on people who live in that place, the people, locals, okay? And on question number 4, you are going to analyze the impact that tourism have on the environment, okay? Around the city or around that specific attraction that you visit. Okay, each of you are going to work in groups of 4, and each of you are going to think on this destination, on this touristic place that you have visited maybe 1 month ago, okay? Then you are going to answer the following questions. What are the major tourist attractions in that place and the impact on locals and the impact on the environment? You need to say if the impact was positive or negative, okay? In your groups, you are going to share what was that place and how was the impact, positive, negative, on locals and the environment. Okay? Questions?
No, teacher.
Thank you. I'm going to make the groups so you can work. Don't forget, you need to share, each of you. There are groups of 3 students and some others 4 students, okay? But the idea is in your group, of course, you will have a few minutes to think about and organize your information about these 4 questions, and then you are going to share in your groups, okay? After that, I'm going to ask you to come back to the main room and I will ask some questions, and the rest you are going to analyze the information that your partner is sharing. Okay? You can go now. Okay. Well, this is part of the speaking skill, okay? But it contains also a part of grammar here, okay? It's important to remember that you can make suggestions by using modals, but of course, we have some other phrases that help you make suggestions, okay? As always, you can give or you can make suggestions, stronger or less stronger or weaker. So in this chart, you can find some different modals and also phrases that you can use for making suggestions. And they are classified. Which ones are stronger and which ones weaker, okay? And you can find the modal should. So should, remember that we studied the modal should in previous units, but you use for giving advice, okay? For giving advice, you use the modal should. But now you can also use the modal should for giving suggestions, okay? So, the modal should, remember, modal should can work affirmative, negative, and questions, okay? Affirmative, negative, and questions. You can make a stronger suggestion if you add the adverb definitely, definitely. If you decide to add it, please remember that definitely in affirmative sentences or affirmative suggestions, it goes in the middle. Should, definitely, and the verb. As probably, right? The same definitely in negative suggestions. It goes first. That means definitely shouldn't or should not and the verb in the base form. So remember, this is almost the same as probably in future with will. Will, probably the verb. Here, should, definitely, and the verb. In negative sentences, definitely, shouldn't, and the verb. The same with will. Probably, won't, and the verb. The same with should and the adverb definitely. Okay, so remember, should is one of the modal that help you making suggestions. Another is let's. And you can make affirmative and negative. Let's and the verb in the base form for affirmative suggestions, and let's not and the verb in the base form for negative suggestions. Let's visit an elephant park. Affirmative suggestion. Negative suggestion. Let's not notice here only we add not. Let's not visit an elephant park. Negative suggestion. And you can also add extra phrases like I think. I think we should visit an elephant park. Or in the negative form, I don't think we should visit an elephant park. So you add an extra phrase. You can say, we should visit an elephant park, or by adding an extra phrase, you can say, I think we should visit an elephant park. Or the negative form, I don't think we should visit an elephant park. If you notice, if you use just the modal should, it sounds good. But if you add I think or I don't think, so the suggestion becomes more complex and it sounds better, okay? Well, you have 4 different options here to make a stronger suggestion by using should, by using let's, by using I think. Now, to make weaker suggestions, okay? You can use phrases like one option is to visit an elephant park. That's an option. You can take it or not. One option is visit an elephant park. Another phrase, why don't we? Why don't we visit an elephant park? With the sound of question. Why don't we? Why don't we visit an elephant park? You can use these phrases. Or, what do you think of? Or how about? But here, please, notice that the verb that you are going to use must go in gerund. Notice the difference, please. One option is to visit, base in the verb in the base form, or why don't we visit, verb in the base form. But with these 2 phrases, what do you think of and how about, notice that the verb goes in gerund. And here, please remember, we studied about gerunds. We learned that after prepositions, you need a gerund. That is another example. What do you think of? So here you have preposition of. Here you have how about, preposition about. So after prepositions, you need the verb in gerund. What do you think of visiting? How about visiting an elephant park? Okay, notice please the difference. One option is to visit. Why don't we visit? And here, what do you think of? Preposition of visiting. How about, preposition about, visiting. Okay? And we have also some other models to make suggestions. Remember that the first model we studied here was should. Another model is might and could. Remember, after a model, you need a verb in the base form. That's why you use should visit, might visit, could visit. Okay? So, should, might, could, they are modals. After a modal, you need the verb in base form. Okay? And don't forget that what do you think of? And how about, because they have prepositions, so you need the verb in gerund, visiting. Another important thing to keep in mind here is how you can make stronger or weaker suggestions. A stronger suggestion by using should. If you add definitely, it becomes even more strong. Let's and I think or I don't think should. Okay, those are stronger possibilities for making suggestions. And in the second part, you have weaker suggestions with different options. One option is to modals might, could, or phrases like why don't we, what do you think of, and how about. Keep in mind, please, what type or which form of the verb is necessary for each of them. Okay. Well, let's practice here. Are questions before we continue? No, I don't think so. Okay. Well, we're going to practice here. We're going to listen. You are going to read this conversation. You are going to take turns in order to read this conversation. But the idea here is that you are going to answer which are stronger and which are weaker. Which of these suggestions, how you can identify the suggestions because they are in bold. Okay, one option is to visit an elephant park. We could go to Padon to see the long-necked women, sorry, let's not go there. And we definitely shouldn't miss the elephant park. So those phrases which are in bold, you are going to analyze if they are stronger or weaker. And what phrase or modal is used in that sentence, in that suggestion. Okay? Volunteers maybe. Especially the students who haven't participated. Isaac Montaño, you are going to read letter A.
Okay, what do you want to do tomorrow?
Wait. Sorry,
Okay.
I want to assign letter B. And Kaylee Padilla, you are going to read letter B. Okay? Okay, so start please, Isaac.
Okay. What do you want to do tomorrow? One option is to visit an elephant park.
That's a great idea. Then we could go to Badao to see the long-necked woman.
Continue, Isaac.
Let's not go there. I think it's degrading for the woman.
Okay, but we definitely shouldn't miss the elephant park.
Good job. So, Isaac, in sentence number 1, what do you want to do tomorrow? One option is to visit an elephant park. Analyze this suggestion. One option is to visit an elephant park. Analyze this suggestion. Is it weak or strong?
Is weak.
It is weak. What is the phrase or the modal that was used in this suggestion?
One option.
Yes, one option. One option is to visit an elephant park. Good job. Emily Galarraga. In the next sentence, the next suggestion, we could go to Padang to see the long-necked women. What do you think about this suggestion? Is it weak or strong?
Is weaker.
Okay, a good suggestion. What modal or phrase was used in this suggestion?
We could go to Padang to see the long-necked woman.
Yeah, I want to know which modal or phrase was used for making this suggestion, because you have read the entire suggestion, but I want to know what modal or phrase was used in this suggestion.
I don't know, teacher. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Pamela, do you want to participate?
The phrase we could.
Yes, the modal could. The modal could. The modal could was used in this suggestion. Very good. Thank you. Genesis. In this third suggestion, let's not go there. What do you think? Is it a weak or a strong suggestion?
It's a strong suggestion, and the model is let's.
Let's.
Let's not.
Yeah, we have a negative suggestion. Let's not. Good job. Anthony, the last suggestion. We definitely shouldn't miss the elephant park. Is it weak or strong?
That's strong.
Okay. What modal or phrase was used in this suggestion?
We definitely shouldn't.
Yes, definitely shouldn't. That is a negative suggestion. And it is also strong. Good job. Okay, dear students. So we have made difference between strong and weak suggestions. Now, this is your speaking activity, so please pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Imagine that you are going to spend 4 days in Bangkok, Thailand. What would you like to do? Here you have a list of choices, activity choices, and different places, different activities. Now, by taking turns in groups, you are going to make suggestions, okay? Use a different phrase to make strong suggestions about the most interesting activities and weaker suggestions about the less interesting activities. Okay? So, pay attention. First, you are going to copy this chart. Okay, I'm going to assign you in groups, but I'm going to explain in the activities that you are going to do in your groups. okay? First of all, you are going to copy this chart with the list of activities, but you are going to classify which of them, according to your group, consider are more interesting and the less interesting. For example, I'm going to discuss in my group about the first topic about animals. Which of these 3 activities do we consider more or less interesting? Let's say that in my group, I think that go to the zoo to see wild animals is more interesting than the second 2 activities. Okay, so I'm going to copy this chart and classify them, which are more interesting and which are less interesting. Why is that important? Because once you have classified the activities into more and less interesting, you are going to practice a conversation making suggestions. Okay, making suggestions. But you are going to make a strong suggestion with the most interesting activities you have previously classified, and you are going to use weaker suggestions with the activities that you previously classified as less interesting. Okay, so let me start it again. First activity. You are going to classify this chart, these activity choices, into more or less interesting. That is the first step because after classifying, you are going to have a conversation in your group about making suggestions about these activities. So, the activities that you classified as the most interesting ones, you are going to make strong suggestions with them. And the ones that you consider are less interesting, you are going to make weaker suggestions. Is it clear? Yes, no? Tell me, please, before you go to the breaking rooms.
Please repeat.
Okay, I'm going to repeat again. First of all, you are going to classify all of those activities among most interesting or less interesting activities. Okay? In your group, you are going to decide which of them are interesting, which are less interesting. After that, when you have classified all the activities, you are going to practice a conversation by making suggestions. Because remember that you are going to imagine you are going to spend 4 days in Bangkok. So you are tourists. You are going to spend 4 days in Bangkok. So in your groups, you are going to practice a conversation by making suggestions, making strong and weaker suggestions. So you are going to make strong suggestions with activities that you consider more interesting. And you are going to make weaker suggestions with the activities you consider as less interesting. Okay? More clear now or not?
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Well, I have assigned, yes, I have assigned you in 5 different groups. So please remember, in your groups, yes, in your groups, you are going to classify first the activities into more or less interesting. And after that, please take your time to practice the conversation. When you finish with this, you can return to the main room and you can share the conversation with me. Okay? After that, you can leave the session. Okay? So the groups, the rooms are open. You can go and work. Okay, Emily and Kayla, can you start, please? How did you classify the activities? Do you have a picture or how did you classify them?
Classify animals. First, animals.
Do you have that classification? Can you share the screen in order to show me the classification?
No, teacher, only talked of the categories: animal, shopping, this talk most interesting and less interesting.
And less interesting, yeah.
Let me show you let me share my screen so you can, oh my gosh. So you can let me know which of them are more and less interesting, but my platform. Okay. I don't know, but I think at this time, the platform start giving me problems. I can't open it. I can't. So I start. Anyway.
Okay, I start with the first category is animals. And the most interesting, I strongly recommend volunteering at an elephant park and helping take care of the elephants because it is meaningful and educational. So the less interesting, I don't really recommend going to the snake farm because it may be uncomfortable for some people.
Emily.
Okay.
Excuse me. Emily.
Teacher.
You have to make suggestion. So when you say the most interesting and I strong recommend, no. Remember that you need to use the modals, the phrases for making suggestions. For example, should, for example, could, might, why, don't we, or how about. Suggestions like them. Kayla, do you have suggestions like this? or not?
Mm, we will, I'm sorry, they recommend the, I'm sorry, we shall visit the Grand Palace because it
Mhm.
is very important and beautiful. It is
Mhm.
suggestion, is it? Or not?
Another one. Another one, Kayla.
Okay. Um, oof. We definitely show go to the floating market uh, to see local food and culture.
Okay, yeah. I noticed that you use should and Emily. That is what I asked you to make suggestions by using should, we definitely should, or something like this. Okay, as Kayla mentioned. Can you try again, Emily?
Okay, teacher. What category?
Any of them.
Um, the sightseeing, the
Sightseeing, okay?
uh
Go ahead.
suggestions is go to the National Museum and learn
No,
about.
Emily. Sorry. Use any of them. Should, let's, I think. One option is might, could, why don't we? What do you think of? How about? Use any of them. For example, you can say, we should definitely go to the
Go
National Museum and learn about Thai art.
go to the national, another visit, go to the what say floating.
But you are not using any of the modals or phrases to make it for making suggestions. Which one do you want to use? Choose one of them.
Stronger.
Which one? Should, let's, I think.
Should.
Okay, should. So use should and definitely plus any of these activities.
We should go to the National Museum and learn about the art.
Okay, good. Another one.
Another one, the same. We should
There's
visit.
another one, a different one. Not only should.
Okay. I think
But you need to use should again. Try to use a weaker one.
the weaker one option is to
Continue. What option?
one option is to visit to the Grand Palace to see where the king lived.
Okay. Thank you. That is why I asked you, Emily.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you. Okay, Emily and Kayla, this is the end. You can leave the session, but remember there is activities on Pearson platform and also next week on Canvas platform. Okay?
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, now with Genesis, Susana, and Sebastian. Please remember that you need to have a conversation here by making suggestions, okay? I want to listen to you, how you use strong or weak suggestions. You need to use should, let's, I think, I don't think. One option is to, we might, we could, why don't we, and all of them, okay? Can you start, please? Oh, did you make a chart or a table with the classification of less and more important activities? Do you have it or not? Or you just share orally?
We shared orally.
Okay, no problem. So let's start, please. Any of you?
Teacher.
Okay.
We we want to make in a book a chart about the most and the less, and all of our bring one option.
One less and one more
Solo
interesting.
tenemos cuatro.
Yeah. But you have one less and one more interesting? Or only
Yes, the
yeah.
more interesting.
And less. Okay,
We have
nice.
4 sentences.
Yeah, nice. Very good. Okay, continue please, or start.
Okay. The number one, the more we should go to listen to weird animal. My partner, the next.
And we also could go to the National Museum and learn about Thai art.
Thank you.
Next partner. No? Okay. The option is to spend a day at a spa, enjoying amazing skincare and a sauna.
And sauna. Okay.
Finally,
and the last one is what do you think of buying books about Thailand from Asia Books?
Okay, very good. Good job, my dear students. Good job. So you make weak and also a stronger suggestions. Good job. So this is the end. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the rest of the night. And don't forget that we have activities on Pearson and also Canvas platform. Okay? See you next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
The same. Joan, your group.
Yeah, teacher. What do we have to do?
Making suggestions.
Each one or what?
Yes, each of you.
Then
Joan, you work with, let me check the group.
Teacher, we divide four classmates for
Yeah,
activities for each one.
Okay, yeah. But I want that you share at least one weak and one strong suggestion. Okay? Each of you, one weak and one strong suggestion.
I can start with animals, and
Yeah.
I order for strong to weak.
Okay, no problem. Any category.
So, my God, I definitely visit the snake farm and see venom removed from snakes to make this medicine.
Can you repeat, Wilmer? Sorry.
Give me a second, please.
Sure. Somebody else until Wilmer feels better.
Me,
Mhm.
teacher. Choose often the beaten path. Well, for me, the strong is a go on the bike tour on Bangkok. Well, we should definitely go bike tour of Bangkok because it's a great way to explore the city and see local life. And the weaker for me is like it spends a day at spa enjoying massage, skincare, and a sauna. Well, we could spend a day at spa enjoying the massage, skincare, and sauna if we want to relax and take a break.
Okay. Thank you. Someone else?
Okay, I'm ready, teacher.
Okay.
We definitely visited the snake farm and see venom removed from snakes to make medicine. That's strong. It's right.
I couldn't hear should.
Ah, see, sorry. We definitely should visit the snake farm and see venom removed from the snake to
The
make
place,
medicine.
oh, sorry, the place of definitely is wrong. We should definitely visit da 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 da.
We should definitely visit the snake farm and see venom removed from the snake to make medicine.
Yes, that's it. Okay, a quicker suggestions?
We could go to Dusit Zoo to see wild animals.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And what about to being a volunteer? To being a volunteer at at an elephant park and help take care of elephants.
Mhm. How about being a volunteer?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Uh-huh. Nice. Thank you, Wilmer.
You're welcome.
Somebody else in your group.
Me, teacher.
Okay, John.
Um, so for me, the I'm gonna do for shopping.
Okay, nice.
The strongest for me
Mm-hmm.
was we should definitely uh, buy books about Thailand from Asia Books.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one I think is less stronger. So I put one option is um, to go to Lawson Handicrafts to buy traditional Thai crafts and souvenirs.
Good job.
And the last one I put we could find fashionable women's clothing at Siam Square shops.
Excellent. Very good. So thank you so much. This is the end. Enjoy the holiday, enjoy the night, and please complete the activities on person and also on Canvas, okay?
Teacher, disculpe, falta
And me,
un
teacher
Ah, sorry,
Danny and Romero
Danny.
Backups.
Sorry. Okay, Danny, continue.
Okay. I I do the sings the sing the same. Okay.
Sightseeing.
Sight
Sightseeing.
no. Okay. I don't know. Okay. For me the strong is I know is in general the strong is the we should visit the grand place to see where thy kings live.
Can you repeat? Sorry.
We should visit
Okay.
we should visit the grand place to the sea where Thai king lived.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Another
and
one.
another one is we might not want to go to the I okay. What we might not want to go to the what said flooring market where farmers sell food on boats.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
And the last is the we could we could go to the National Museum and learn about that art.
Thai art. Okay. Good job.
Okay.
Okay. Now, good job to this group. Thank you. Thank you so much. We will see you next year. Bye bye.
Yeah, and Romero Macas.
Galo is part of your group as well?
Yep.
Yeah, but he already mentioned the suggestions.